It's coming up on 6 in the morning, 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Avondale, just west of Phoenix. I got a guy just east of me on a 18-wheeler, kind of walking while I think he's in the back of a semi now. He's going around looking at the tires and equipment stuff before they take off. He probably spent the night in the parking lot. Can't see the name on the side of it. It's right here. There's a vehicle parked down. I periodically see a vehicle parked further east there, either in the parking lot. And I think people are stealth camping down there, or maybe it's homeless people. They're nice looking vehicles, so it's possible that's all they've got. I don't know. I don't really know. I need to get down to the zone sometime. I want to make it to Central Phoenix. I want to get over sometime next week. I want to see what West Tech has got. I can find me a laptop, another one that's fast enough to run Ubuntu Studio with some video editing. I run it on the laptop that I've got now, but I don't want to change the operating system on here right now because I've got the torrent. I've got some torrent files I haven't finished, and I got a couple of things I don't want to erase. Once I load it to the operating system, I've lost all that. But anyway, now I've got one that I use at home, another laptop. I've got a bunch of desktop PCs, but I doubt they're fast enough. I don't have a good video card that I can put in there to do some editing with. So I'm going to see what West Tech has got. They may have a system down there just cheap enough for me to afford it. I want something where I can make clear that stuff will pop up from on my screen. Anyway, so I don't know why I got so upset with when Goodyear had diverted the traffic for the new Buc-ee's. It's just that it makes absolutely no sense to divert it all the way down the bank park to the ballpark unless they want people to see what the ballpark looks like. I don't think there are any games there right now. Of course, maybe they do. Maybe they're figuring that people, it might be a Chamber of Commerce type thing. It might be that the city of Goodyear has figured if the people that are seeing the Buc-ee's see the ballpark down there, they're going to want to hang around for a game, a baseball game down there. That's my only thinking on that. I'm thinking in another day, I've got a job I've got to finish. I was out there yesterday and I've got a couple little things I got to finish on this job. I'm going to do that today. Had an itty bitty leak. I'd started new air conditioner for this guy. And I had a tiny leak. You pressurized nitrogen. Let it sit for about 3 days and it leaked down. A very, very tiny leak, and I'm glad I found it. But anyway, I'm gonna go back today. Got a holding pressure on it. Go back and finish it. I'll go back down, get down in a different direction, and when I come back, I'll come back Yuma Road and see if they've still got it blocked off. Well, they're not blocked off, but what they do, they hold that light. They'll leave it open for the traffic going north and south. The traffic they're diverting from the Buc-ee's. They loop it clean around the ballpark and then back to Buc-ee's. And to me, the only thing that makes any sense if they want people to see the Goodyear ballpark and figure maybe they figure they're come back for a baseball game sometime. That might be what they're thinking. I don't know. It's not like you're doing any of the other businesses along the road any good. There's got to be a lot of people that are pissed over that. A lot of people that have businesses and stuff in there that their regular customers can't get in there to them. So, I knew what they were going to do, so I've driven around it so it doesn't inconvenience me all that much. It's a fact I did want to hit up that Buc-ee's sometime. Now you can find 2 or 3 videos there on YouTube from people that have already visited there. YouTube content creators, people that already visited the Buc-ee's that have videos from there. They beat me to that. Being that these are people from other parts of the world, and I'm a local here, kind of pisses me off too. Anyway, maybe with view of the Strellas, I'm going to download a new copy of Linux Mint and Ubuntu Studio. The last copy wouldn't run on this one machine. I'm going to what I want to do is load it on a thumb drive. Have it with me when I make it down to WS, or not West Tech. I might make it down there, I might not, I don't know. They had some desktops that were, they had some Dell. These were little mini Dells. They had like a jack for 19 volts DC, like a laptop, but they were desktop. I guess you call them desktop PCs. But they're kind of weird that they run on 19 volts DC. Powered with a barrel jack. I could do a laptop. Never quite got that. They had the specifications. I'm gonna see how fast they are, how much memory. They had these things for like $60. I suspect they'll run. Of course, those I'm not quite. I'd have to hook them up with the monitor and stuff. Not sure what I'll do. I'll see if Ubuntu Studio, because it comes bundled with Kdenlive. Kdenlive is a video editor that I've used. I'm not real good with it, but I can use it. I want to do another random driving video because I've got a bunch of stuff I've saved. In fact, that reminds me, I pulled the micro SD card out of my camera. Saved a video off of it, but I didn't put it back in my camera, so I didn't record anything this morning. Of course, I've only driven about 2 miles over here. I just need to make sure I put the micro SD card back in my camera so I get video for my trip out and another job. Let's see, let me show you. This is Ubuntu Studio. I haven't started the download on that yet. This is Linux Mint 22.3 cinnamon. They're all ISO files. You can copy them to a thumb drive, and they'll boot from they'll run. Mint will run, and Ubuntu Studio will run as live drives from the. That's what you do. You run them as a live distribution from the USB drive. Well, you do that for a couple reasons. You want to make sure it works with all your hardware, because periodically, maybe the sound card won't work, or if you got a video card, the software it's not properly supported. Now, if you do have that issue, if you do try to run that, I know Mint has a user forum, and Ubuntu Studio. Most of the major distributions have user forums. You go on there and check their frequently asked questions, because somebody else probably had the same problem, and they'll give you a workaround. Of course, sometimes there's not a workaround. You never know. Let's see. Well, I'm probably get back over to Tractor Supply and do another video from over there. That last video I did from Tractor Supply got a handful of views. Not sure why that's more interesting in any of my other videos. Again, I put it out there. If some chick needs a hiking partner for the mountains, the desert trails, museum, something I'm interested in. Just want to do a DIY video, or a wrenching on something, or troubleshooting automotive electrical or house electrical, air conditioning. Hey, let me know. That's within my knowledge base. If it's anything that's not of interest to me, or I don't have any knowledge of, I might be willing to sit and hold the camera while you talk about it, if you're interesting enough. But I hope that's something I'm not interested in. I might do that at least once just to see what it's like. Some lady is into knitting or crocheting. Now, my grandma would crochet. She did it for years and years. Yeah, she's been gone for 50 years. She was born in the late 1800s. She lived to be 99 years old. She taught school back in the early 1900s in a one-room schoolhouse in somewhere in Kansas. She got tuberculosis. And when, that time there wasn't a cure for it. They didn't know that penicillin would kill it. Anyway, the doctor told her to go climb Pikes Peak there in Colorado. So she did that. Her body beat to tuberculosis. And she lived to be 99 years old. She was 3 weeks of being 100 years old when she finally died. I think my grandma was Native American, but because she was real dark. But she was out in the sun quite a bit too, so I don't know if she's dark from the... I can tell you a lot of stories on my grandma. Tell you a lot of stories of my family. Sometime I will. Most of them are no longer here. It's one thing that happens when you live to be an old man. I don't know my daughter. I haven't sit down and told my daughter any of these. I don't know if she'd be interested. My daughter or grandchildren. Once I'm gone, there's probably nobody to tell them because nobody else knows these stories. Yes, I think I've covered everything for this morning.